Honestly, at this point, I'm kinda starting to feel bad for Nintendo YouTubers. So my original vision for this video was going to be talking about how I personally didn't believe that we were going to have a Nintendo General Direct in April, even though a lot of people were believing so. But right as I was ending planning this video, a new piece of information just dropped, kind of shedding more light on the situation for the April Direct. The timing of this is a little unfortunate for me because, as I said, I kind of already was planning on making a video about this, so it kind of would have been nice to be able to get it out first and then the news came out. Then it's kind of like, aha, I was right. So nobody has to believe me now, but that's alright. My goals here on YouTube aren't necessarily to get my thoughts and opinions valorized by random strangers, so if you believe me, awesome. If you don't, I understand, doesn't matter. So to kick off this video, let's look at why the heck people thought this was going to be a thing anyways. Why were people expecting an April Direct? I suppose you can ultimately say that the rumors stem out of impatience. Of course, traditionally Nintendo would have a Nintendo Direct in February, and it kind of, kicked off the year. They told us every game we could expect in the first half, and usually a game or two that we could see and expect in the second half of the year. The first Nintendo Direct is always used to set the stage for the year and then kind of to set people's expectations. However, this year we clearly did not have that and will not be having that. But I'll elaborate why that never made sense in a little bit. But first, the reason why a lot of people were kind of under the impression that April was going to have a general Nintendo Direct is because two semi-credible leakers kind of came forward and said that there would be one. First, we had Brazil say it on Fama boards. He most famously said that the Switch 2 was going to be delayed internally. Almost instantly after he said that, other news outlets came forth and kind of backed up what he was saying. So because of that, a lot of people put faith into him and his, April Direct rumor. Not only that, but a second Nintendo leaker also commented under the post kind of, again, backing up what he was saying. So for a lot of people, they said, hey, look, we have two people agreeing on what they're saying, so this must be the truth. Although I do imagine that there was a sliver of truth somewhere in this rumor, then that's kind of how it came to be. I just ultimately feel like it's a really weird time for Nintendo to be making a Direct. And here are a few reasons why I ultimately never believed it was going to happen anyways. First off, in the history of Nintendo Directs, there's only ever been 5 Directs in April, 2 of which were not even like general Nintendo Directs. So first, we had the Nintendo Direct that happened on April 17th of 2013. This Direct was to kick off the infamous Year of the Luigi. Then the next 2 April Directs were for games specifically. So on April 8th, 2014, we had a Super Smash Bros. Direct, and on April 10th, we had a Tomodachi Life Direct. Other than that, the only other ones were April 1st, 2015, which was just a random Direct, and finally, the first Nintendo Direct that also had 3DS games happened on April 12th, 2017. But sure, April technically isn't historically a Direct kind of month. But a lot of people would use the counterpoint of, hey, with the Switch 2 kind of being lurking in the shadows, this is a year, clearly a transition year for Nintendo. Meaning Nintendo might opt into doing some things a little differently this year just because of that transition. So sure, I'll, give you benefit of the doubt and say, yeah, that is what is happening. But even if that's what's happening, there's still other things that just don't add up. Let me ask you a question. Why exactly do we need a Nintendo Direct right now? And the answer can't be because, there wasn't a February Direct. Because we know, based on, how Nintendo has been operating the past few years, that there most likely will be a new Nintendo Direct in June. So let's operate under the assumption that there is a 100% guaranteed, odds that there will be a Direct in June. We are now April, meaning that leaves us May. That's it, and then we're in June. We're mid-April now, we'll probably expect to have the Direct mid-June, so maybe 2 months total, but anywhere between 1 and 2 months, that's when the next Direct will most likely be. And I'd like you to take a wild guess at how many games are coming to the Switch in the next 2.5 months, okay? I'll wait. Did you say 3? If so, you're wrong. Yes, we have Endless Ocean Luminous. Yes, we have the Thousand Year Door Paper Mario remake. Yes, we have Luigi's Mansion 2 HD coming out. Yes, those are 3 games coming out, but there are more than just the first-party Nintendo games. Currently, there are 24 games on the Coming Soon page on the Nintendo website. Now, don't get me wrong. The lineup is not the greatest, and most of these are not first-party games. But you know what? That's perfectly okay. People should be trying to branch out and trying something new, and this is the perfect time to do so. Between now and June, Nintendo currently has absolutely no true real reason to have a direct. Maybe an indirect is that is the most I would expect to see. Now, let's just, hypothetically speaking, say Nintendo has one more game for us, maybe even 2. That they need to get out, start advertising and marketing before June. We don't need a direct. Yes, directs are fun. I much rather a direct, but they could always just do a Twitter drop. I feel like one point a lot of people kind of overlook is that directs cost to make. Whether Nintendo chooses to develop these directs in-house or outsource the project, it costs money to produce. The point I'm trying to make is the likelihood of this direct was unfortunately on par of a fart's chance in the wind. And most of it was just, stories and rumors ramped up by Nintendo YouTubers trying to hype up a situation that was never going to happen, and mostly just them trying to manifest it into reality. Which brings me to my final point, why I genuinely feel bad for Nintendo YouTubers right now. I mean, let's just face it, there's absolutely nothing interesting about Nintendo going on right now. And I can't imagine being a daily Nintendo YouTuber right now. Day after day after day, just taking the most nothing announcements or just things to speculate on, and just ringing them and milking them for everything it's worth, even though the story itself they're trying to report on is uninteresting and not informative. No, just because a indie developer is hiring for a Switch 2 game does not confirm that the Switch 2 is either further or closer than the reality of where it is now. And trust me, I am fully aware and capable of understanding that this stems from 2 things. 1, the pent-up just excitement that people just want to finally know something about this console, know something about a new game. They want something to look forward to. And the other half is that these people need to make Nintendo-based content. That's what their audience wants. And if they're making daily content, it's hard for them to make original content day after day that will perform well enough that they can still afford to put food on the table. And hey, I watch a lot of these daily Nintendo YouTubers too, and that's kind of why I'm making this video. I go to their comments and day after day, people have, not very kind things to tell them, but it's just kind of what it is, If there's nothing to talk about, but they still need to talk about it, of course it's not going to be as fun to listen to. And I'm absolutely not making this video just to say oh, look at what I'm doing, I'm so much better, because that's just not the case. But if you go on my channel in the About section, I clearly state that this channel is a dedicated Switch 2 channel, and I will only, speak about things that are not Switch 2 related when there's nothing to talk about, and I will post just general Nintendo things. And if you look at my past 8 videos, you'll see that there's absolutely nothing to talk about. I might soon make a update from, all the time we've missed, make one video with more than one piece of information that you might have missed, but trust me, at this point, nobody missed anything because there's nothing to talk about, as I've mentioned time and time again. So I think that sums up all my thoughts are on the situation, and please, if you do watch or do know of some of these daily YouTubers and you do choose to comment on their videos, please be nice, they're just trying to do their jobs half of the time. I'm interested in knowing your thoughts on this situation. Do you feel any sort of empathy towards these Nintendo channels like I do at the moment? Let me know down in the comments. And as per usual, if you enjoyed what you watched today, I would really appreciate it if you would consider liking and subscribing, and until next time, Warao.